Hello, this video is of the International Harvester 501 tandem disc. This is the prototype, which is unpainted, as it will be heading into the paint booth here in the next couple of weeks. Before I give detail about this toy, just a couple of things. First of all, unlike my previous videos, I'm actually holding the camera, so if I do get a bit wobbly on you, I do apologize for that. It's just that doing it this way, I can actually get in closer and so you can see some of the detailed work that went into this particular toy. This video is primarily being done for those that bought this toy from me. From this prototype, a series of 10 toys were made, including one as a chase unit in the Case IH version of this. As you'll see before I begin, is that these the wheels on it are just on there loose. I just use a standard toy farmer tire, and there are some nuts and bolts that are just protruding, are not bolted in just yet, because again, this toy has to come apart and go into the painting, so they have not been put in place permanently, because they can't be until this toy is built. It's January 2024. This toy took several months to build, and you could tell by the design it was quite a heavy-duty disc for its time. Came out in 1976, built by International Harvester, built until 2002, and withstood the merger of Case and IH in 1985. Case IH kept this toy as the model 501. They didn't change the model number on this at all. This is the 15-foot 9-inch version. Some call it the 15-footer, some call it the 16-footer. It's the largest of this disc, because this disc did come with the option of wings, and there's no wings on this one. You can tell this big dual heavy wheels on it, even without the wings, just given that the very beefy design and frame of this disc in its time. This disc came with two options that have been built into it. The prototype will have, sorry, not the prototype, the chase unit will have others, but I'll save that for the fellow for Michael, who will end up with that particular toy. This one here comes with the optional furrow follower, as well as the center shank. In this case, it's the International Harvester Vibra shank, and which was made incidentally between 1964 and 2002. So that was made for some 38 years, and I've tried to replicate this in several fashions, and I do a facsimile of it by doing the outline. Making the real one that's working is near impossible, given the many small parts that easily break. So this is what I've perfected over many years. Let's turn this disc around like so. I'll go down a bit low here with the camera. You can see that the scrapers are a two-piece design with an arm and a blade. And if I just go over here, you get to see how heavy duty this thing was in real life. I'm just going to go over and just point out some of the interesting aspects. So I have just finished this up, and all the toys that are behind me, by the way, they're all parts to getting ready for paint, for cleaning and paint. You can see off to the side they had the the hydraulic hose holder here off to the side. It's kind of interesting. Usually it would be more center, but not in this particular case. International Harvester in this era had a very interesting hitch design. And if you take a look here, you can see a series of arms that underneath that hold these mounting plates together. Now you would think by looking at this, it's a patchwork, it must be a weak design. Well, if you take a look at the real ones online, very solid design, and I've yet to see one with breaks or bends to them. So they had something going on here. Now, like the real one, I'll just put the camera sideways and hold it with my other hand. This cranks up and cranks down, so you can adjust that. And it's also spring-loaded. I'll just take my hand, you can just see here, like the real one. I didn't put a very solid spring in there, because I wanted the mechanism to work, and a solid spring would restrict that movement. I'll now just show you what it looks like when I have the wheels raised. Now this is where it's going to get interesting for those that bought the disc. So this is what it looks like. How you see the piston goes up, and how it looks like when it goes down. In my collection, I'm going to leave it down. So here's a word of caution for those that bought this toy. In as much as it's very solid and stout build, I'm going to just focus in on here on probably the most crudest, and I'm almost lost for words, method of how to lock your disc up for travel. I'm going to go over here and just get my pencil. Sorry about that. My fingers just got in the way there. If you look at right here, let's back the camera off a little bit. Right here, in real life, that's just two International made this bar, which is fine, and these are nothing more but two pieces of channel iron with a hole in the center, and you just throw a pin on there and you move it up and down to, lock it into place. The problem in engineering it down to this scale, it's very, very difficult to move this. You'll need a couple of surgical clamps, even a couple of needles, just to try to tighten that. Sorry, getting carried away here. I'm too busy looking at the the device as opposed to the camera here. Anyhow, this is very difficult to move. In my toy, I'll leave it down like this and in exactly this position. For those that want to lock it up, you'll have to lift the toy up on its side, carefully remove the bolt, move it up, and put it back on again. And it sits up fine, but just please know that you will not have a very enjoyable time. And why that? I've done a lot of different things. I'm just going to move it around here. You can see it's just an incredibly, basic design. I'm going to reach over here. This is the manual, setup manual that was followed along, and you can just see the code number and the date on the back of it of this. So when I do reference the page numbering, you'll know what I mean. Okay, just give me 1 second here. Page 6. It's a very rudimentary depth control, if you will, and it locks up the disc itself, which goes into greater detail on page as well as page 13. So I've left it as is, and I'll paint those locking pieces separately. But please beware, if you want this locked up, you may want to send me a message, and I'll further to emails I'll be going along with this particular video to you, and you can let me know when I can put it in the locked up position. It is not going to be easy to do. You can see some of the great detail of this particular toy. I'll get a bit closer here into the hitch and the hydraulic system. As you can tell, the cylinders there ready for the hoses, as is the hose holder here, which I just have sitting just with a couple of too long of a nut. You'll see some, being the prototype, we'll be doing more trimming and adding a few more nuts and bolts, which will end up on the production model toys. But again, being a prototype, all my secrets and engineering design is all in here. Let me just go down low on you here. Get a bit of sorry, it's the creaking of my chair. Give you an idea what that looks like here. And kind of up like so. This toy measures in width 12.5 inches, and it's just typical because the maximum width of my display case for my prototypes is 12 inches, so I'll have a bit of a problem with that. I do apologize also in that you'll see some very rough soldering. This toy has not been cleaned, has not gone through its final filing phase yet. It literally just came off the workbench not that very long ago, and I'm just doing some final photographs for those that purchased this toy. And for those that are watching this video, please note that all toys have been sold. There's no more left, and there will be no more made. And this is the prototype that I'll keep in my collection, and all 10 have been spoken for, and we'll be heading out here in the next several weeks. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed this video. I do apologize again if my video skills are not the greatest, but this is targeted largely to those that bought the toy, and I just want to display to them how the hitch system works fully adjustable to whatever toy you build. And I'm cautioning also on how you want to lock this toy up, or have by sitting it up or sitting it downwards. Now, the fellow that inspired this, I will, before I conclude, is Michael from British Columbia, who had the Case IH version on their farm. And of course, he's getting the chase unit in the exact same configuration that they had theirs. He did say that they did, in a very recent communication with him, that this just took about 150 horse. They had a 7120 Case IH on it, and they were in different kind of soil conditions, so and it pulled it quite well. But my point here is that don't underestimate this disc. It was quite a heavy disc when I compared to, say, the Ford 242, as well as the Oliver version that with the spring wings that you'll see on my video feed here. Anyhow, I hope you enjoy this video, and those that bought the disc enjoy it as well. It'll make a nice addition and has a lot of great detail to it. Thank you.